Violin. Violin tutorial. You got a violin lessons for the beginner. Hey, fuck, it's Thanksgiving Day today, right? For all you Americans, if there's any of you here even, I guess it's pretty early for you. Fucking happy Thanksgiving Day, guys. I hope it goes well. This is Paul teaching a great lesson on vibrato, featuring the tune Amazing Grace. Never been able to catch the stream because it's 6 a.m.? That is early. It's really early. You too hungover for loud violins? Okay, sorry about that. My mouse is doing this thing where it like double clicks involuntarily. You ever get that? I'm using a Logitech mouse. A Logitech G502. It's like doing this like... It's doing this thing where like every once in a while it double clicks. How old is it? I don't know, like 2 years old maybe? Power saving mouse.
You're doing great, Dad!
You get that sometimes as well. It's annoying, isn't it? Like right now I'm trying to play this video, but it's like playing and pausing, like it's double clicking.
Hello, this is Paul with onlinelessonvideos.com. Today we're going to cover
You had that problem with right click. I think it's getting caught in the contacts. Alright. Nice. Hi, Paul.
two subjects. The first being the melody Amazing Grace. First we'll talk about the fingerings for the left hand, and then we'll get into the bowing.
There's
After
too much
that,
sperm under
we'll
the button.
discuss vibrato, technique.
Actually, Paul, I think it's pronounced vibrato.
Practice exercises and application thereof. Let's get started. Now, with my particular rendition of Amazing Grace, we'll be in 3/4 time, 3 beats to a measure, quarter note gets the beat, and then will be a quarter note pickup into the downbeat, which will be the open D string, played like so. I should also mention that we'll be in the key of G major,
I like
which
this
has
version
one
of
sharp.
Amazing Grace.
Let's get
better
started.
already.
The first note is an open D string, which
Amazing
is a quarter note. The next note that you play is with the third finger on the D string. So let's play the first two notes.
When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
What the fuck have you just joined into? Man, I felt like playing Planet Zoo a little bit, and now I'm just like, I don't feel like playing it. So, I think we're just gonna have another, like, fucking totally bummed out day today.
Great, Dad!
What a shame,
Wait,
eh?
Terryland is
What a
back
shame.
in the black. We have
Yeah.
seen some suspicious transactions lately from and to your franchise. You didn't sell any tortoise shells on the black market, didn't you? Anyways, happy for you, Terryland is back in business.
Yeah, me too. I am too, but at the same time, I'm annoyed about it. Look at how many things that we had to. Wait, are these adjustable? Oh, fuck, they are as well. Oh god, that's even more comfortable. Do you know every part of my body is now resting on something? My head is resting on this nice pillow. My lower back is resting on an adjustable pillow. My elbows are resting on some armrests. I mean, my legs obviously are resting too. This is fucking. This is just pure luxury. Jeez. No, it's not a sponsored chair. Like I keep saying to you guys, nobody wants to sponsor me. It's a real problem. I need a manager. And who wants to be my agent? Who wants to manage me and get me some sponsorship deals? I'll take anything. I'm desperate. I'll take anyone and anything. Just show me the money. Show me the money. Just sleep on stream. Yeah. Which chair did I buy? I bought a Rosie. Does that mean anything to you? I bought it just from a store, like a local store. I mean, it's pretty good. It's not like a Team Liquid. I'm not on Team Liquid. Although I keep saying, I think I have the best name. I should be on. They should just have me on Team Liquid as a mascot. Liquid Sips. No? Anyway, I bought this at a store. I don't know what it's. I've never heard of the brand. I guess it's Italian. It's an Italian chair that's made in China. Nice, eh? Yeah. How many Jersey Dollarinos was it? This particular chair cost me the princely sum of 250 Jersey Dollarinos. 250. It's not bad actually for a really comfy chair. I think that's about right for a good chair. Yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah. That's your monthly wage. You get paid 250 Dollarinos a month. Jeez. Rich. Well, I mean, you guys see the donations rolling in every day, right? I could have bought like 20 of these things. I only bought one though. Yeah. It's worth sitting on. Yeah, for sure. What kind of job is 250 a month? Licking a toilet clean with your mouth. That's what it is. There's no job on this earth that pays $250, like in the West anyway. I think it'd be hard to find a job that only pays 250 Dollarinos a month. That's not even close to a livable wage. The man needs you to have more money so that you can buy more sugary snacks and corn treats, and then diabetes remedies as well. $250 is nothing. The man wants you to have more. He wants you to have more money so that you can feed into the system of misery. You know? You got the beatus as well? Yeah, the man's been working overtime recently. There's a lot of us with the beatus. Not me. I'm actually fairly healthy, but I know some of you out there might have the beatus. Capitalism wants us to earn nothing and give everything. No, capitalism wants you to earn enough so that you can feed their system. So they'll give you just enough to eat every month, not be completely miserable, and buy a lot of shit that you don't need, and then every month the cycle repeats, right? And that's how they stay afloat. That's how it works. I'm not defending capitalism. I'm just telling you how it works, in case you were wondering. Yeah, we should rise up. You know what? We should rise up. We should say, you know what? If my legs weren't so stiff from sitting around playing video games for 12 hours a day plus, I would rise up, guys. Okay, but my knees hurt all the time from lack of exercise, and I don't think physically I can rise up. But in my mind, I think we should rise up. Yeah. There's a revolution starting right here. Let's get everybody all pumped up. Let's give some good speeches. We'll give some good. You know what? We need some good speeches. We need a good speech. We got to get everybody all pumped up, and we got to make that change. We got to look at the man in the mirror and make that change, right? Okay. All right. Here we go. You ready? And also, kind of weird, but probably just as much as the Augscast has ever done for me as well, which is again weird, but it's true. Like these guys are on the ball. I'm not even sponsored by them or anything. I'm just saying. I think I think these guys know what they're doing. I think that's a good way to get into somebody's good books. You know? Yeah. It's BS Lulu made me. It's true. He did. Yeah. I owe him for that.
Hey Sips, today is
man.
my 18th birthday. I am finally a big boy. I would like to
Finally.
thank you for all the years of entertainment. It would make my day if you would wish me a happy birthday.
Hey, the Lost Show, happy birthday. Happy 18th birthday. I can't believe that you're 18 years old. Have a good one, man. Have a good birthday and enjoy yourself. Enjoy being young. Enjoy being a youngin', but kind of an adult as well. And don't do anything silly on your birthday, you know? Happy birthday, man. Thank you so much. He's a big boy now. Yeah. Chat, make sure that you say happy birthday to him as well. All right? And thanks so much for the donation as well. On your birthday. Seems kind of backwards, but I appreciate it. Thanks. Sinking Ships, thanks so much for the donation as well. City Skylines, maybe, or Twitch poll game choice? No, I will never Twitch poll a game choice. That's crazy. You guys have vastly different tastes in games than I do, or we're not on the same wavelength. There's certain games at any time that I feel like playing, and none of you guys ever seem to be on that. Perfect Lover, I think we're on the same wavelength for that. That I will admit. But sometimes I'm like, hey guys, what game should we play? And you guys are coming up with like the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like not even close to anything that I would want to play. You know what I mean? Have I tried the Prison Architect update yet? No, I haven't. I don't feel like playing it either. Play Breath Edge? Again, I don't feel like playing it. Play Spider Solitaire? I don't feel like playing it. Star Sector and Stalker? I don't feel like playing either of those. Play some DayZ? I don't feel like playing that either. Auction not included? I love it. I don't feel like playing it. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want to play. There's a couple of things I do want to play, though. Outer Worlds, Stardew Valley Update, Minecraft, Divinity, Original Sim, RimWorld. I don't want to play any of those. I don't feel like playing a single one of those games on the list that you just... Play with my balls? I would gladly play with my balls. Play with you? Yeah, no, I don't. It's like... You know, like, have you ever been, like, in a bit of a funk before? And you're, like, sitting in your room and you're just staring at those four walls and staring at a ceiling fan, and your mom walks in and she's like, what's going on? And you're like, I don't know what to play. I don't know what video games to play. And she's like, why don't you play Donkey Kong Country? Mom, I don't want to play Donkey Kong Country. That's you guys, chat. That's you. You know, like how out of touch your mom is with what you feel like doing? That's you guys with me. All the time. Yeah. You know, she just comes up with some fucking wacky ass out there shit. You're like, Mom, you just don't fucking get me, okay? You don't get it. Just pause my online game. Yeah, there's that too. There's that too. So look at all this money that we're making in Terryland now. Our total profit so far in March of this year is $2,000. That's because our expenses are very low. Animal food for 2 tortoises, funnily enough, is still quite high, in my opinion. $553 for 2 tortoises seems extreme. Especially seeing as that the stuff that they eat generally can just be found on the ground next to roads and stuff like that. But whatever. Power costs are pretty low too, $986. Facility running costs are quite high. And that's because we have way more facilities than we need. And none of them are in a decent place. Like, we'd have to go through here and... So negative impact on guests back here and back here. And then we've got the staff building here too. We've got all of these facilities over here that we probably don't need now. So let's get rid of those. And nobody can even make it over to these. So let's get rid of these ones too. Get rid of these bad boys. Cut down some of these costs. We might just get rid of this. I'm not sure. And then, of course, we have all these facilities over here. But we don't have, like, the work zones or anything for these. So, in terms of water... I think that can be deleted. That's fine. It's not even on right now. And then power, we need this power on because we don't have anywhere to put quarantine, the vet surgery, and the research center. Research center. Wait, is this a research center? Whoops. That's a small research center. In fact, I think that's all we need. I don't think we need the large research center. So let's get rid of this. There's no more keepers over here, so it's fine. Staff room, I guess. I like that this security guard has walked all the way over here to go to the staff room when there's one here, and there's one over here too. Time to reinstall fucking boats? No, it's a huge money pit. We can't do it. Am I looking for a relatively low effort, no brain power necessary kind of game? No, I mean, I've been playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds, so I'd be looking to play that. But I don't think chat wants to watch Hearthstone Battlegrounds, so we'll just play this for a bit. The boats killed us last time. Boats is an interesting one, okay? When the boats were running, if you looked at the ride itself, it would say that it was posting profits, okay? But in ongoing expenses, ride running costs would be triple, quadruple what the actual ride was posting as profit, and that would be at a deficit. I mentioned this in the email that I sent to Bo and the other people at Frontier. So in a year, say fucking boats made like $1,000, okay, in profit. But then in that same year, if you looked at ride running costs, it was like minus 7,000. This is when fucking boats was up and running. We've deleted it since, sadly. It was a cool ride, but there you go. You're off to bed. It's 1 a.m. Hope you have a good stream. Good night, chat. Hey, the Firebug72. Have a good sleep, and thanks for joining us for a bit. That's a lot of money for fucking a boat. You're right, it is. It's a tremendous amount of money. So there are issues in this game. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of it's either they're bugs or it's like a not implemented properly intended features, or just it's like a balancing issue or something. You know what I mean? Like to me, a bug is like something that that causes a game to crash or whatever, or like, you know, say you're watching a person walking here and then all of a sudden they teleport somewhere else. That's a bug. If an animal teleports out of an enclosure, that's a bug, right? I wouldn't say that like a UI thing is necessarily a bug. I think it's just probably like it works, but it's just wrong. Like a calculation is wrong, or like where it gets information from is wrong or whatever. I personally wouldn't classify that as a bug. I would just say that that's just something that needs like balancing or fixing, whereas like an actual bug is something that like goes wrong like somewhere in the core of the system. You know what I mean? There's probably a word for it, but I can't think of what that is. So like, yeah, so I think there's just some weird like balance issues and maybe some design flaws along the way, you know? Mega Aquarium? We put all the bugs in an exhibit? Oh yeah, I bought some snakes last night, but I don't think anybody's over here looking at them. It looks like they had a whole bunch of babbies as well. So we'll keep Santoso and Sarwenda. And the rest of these guys we can put into here to make these guys happy again. On top of everything else, though, the extortionate amounts of money and stuff like that, you also have a couple of questionable mechanics in the game that I don't even really think are necessary. The power and the water facilities, I think, are completely unnecessary. I think the ways that they can make it better is to not give them such a huge radius. Okay, I think like the transformer, the big power transformer, if it is going to have such a huge radius of negative impact on guests, I think that the power radius that it provides should be about 3 times bigger. Honestly, I think that's like something that you would put like to the side of your zoo, and just put it into like a very nondescript building, tucked out of the way, maybe like with some trees and stuff around it, and just never think about it ever again. Make sure that it's in like a maintenance route or something, but the coverage should be like huge, and then and it shouldn't really affect the game in any way past that. You know, like the only effect it should have on your game is that it costs some money to upkeep, but it shouldn't be that much, sort of thing, right? And that's it. And then you don't need to like fart around constantly with like trying to fit these stupid facilities, like the water facilities and stuff too. I think the water facilities shouldn't be as big. I don't think the water facilities should need to be maintained or anything like that. I think it's something that you should just be able to put like a little thing on a wall here, and then it'll just like affect the water that it's next to, and it's fine. I don't think guests should ever get upset that they see that or anything. When was the last time you went to a zoo and you noticed staff facilities and it annoyed you? You see them all the fucking time, right? Some zoos are better at hiding them away or whatever, but like, who fucking cares, right? Like, most of the time, like, there'll be a door with like some ivy around it or whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay, I know the keepers are going in there, but it hasn't affected my life in any way. I'm certainly not going to ask for a refund. You know what I mean? So like, I just think that I think the whole like people annoyed about seeing facilities thing is dumb. And I think if they want to keep it in the game, they should make it so that if it's inside a building, it just doesn't have an effect. Like, for instance, in here, okay, this one here inside a building, in a staff building with the staff path and stuff, should no longer give an undesirable effect. It's covered. Nobody will be able to see this, right? You can't actually put doors in front of them because they need to be accessed or whatever. But that should be it. It should be like, if you've gone to the effort of actually putting walls around it or whatever, okay, cool. No more negative impact. And then you could put these things like in more places, right? If that's how they want to do it. For instance, like if we had some water in this tortoise enclosure, or we had like some natural water in this Komodo dragon enclosure or whatever, we could just put it in a little hut back here and nobody would ever see it and it wouldn't affect anybody. But as it stands now, negative impact on guests. Look at the radius of this thing. It's fucking huge. Like, luckily it's tucked out of the way for us right now. But if this was placed anywhere else, it would start hitting this path. It could potentially hit like this path over here, which it already is. So if anybody walks down here, they're going to sense that there's a water facility somewhere and get annoyed. Like that time Obi-Wan Kenobi felt a ripple in the Force or whatever. And he thought it was because Alderaan was destroyed by the Death Star, but no, it wasn't. It's because he was on the Death Star and there was a water facility very close by that he could sense, and that's why he was going crazy. That's he felt it tingling. Anyway, so there's a couple things like that. The whole security thing is garbage in my opinion. Yeah, okay, you need security guards or whatever, but there's no overlay for any of these security cameras. So you have no idea of the coverage area, okay? And oftentimes you'll find benches and litter bins and stuff knocked over right underneath these things. So what's the point of them? I don't think there's nothing in the game to say that they add any benefit whatsoever. Like, to me, they just look like things you place on buildings to make it look a little bit more realistic or whatever. But apparently you have to have these things everywhere. The security guards as well. I mean, I've never given them a work zone because the way that work zones work, another gripe, is not great. You have to have them work buildings. So if you wanted him to walk like up and down here, for example, you'd have to make sure that there was a building here. Like, what if you just wanted a dead end and there's no building? You'd have to make sure there's a building there. And then you'd have to make sure that there's a building back here as well that he would walk in between. And then he'd have to, like, go off and go to the staff room or whatever. And there's no guarantee that he's actually stopping any vandalism happening because it doesn't seem like they do. And then the worst part about vandalism is that none of the guys that none of the people that you hire to work in your zoo, okay? Our staff wage bill in this zoo is low. It's a small zoo. $11,000. $11,000 for a year, and they can't even fucking pick up a bin that's been knocked over? That's crazy. So I actually have to go through and find where these bins are that are knocked over, click on them, and spend money to replace them. That's stupid. That is beyond stupid, in my opinion. I think that should just be removed altogether. I think that sucks. Like, okay, I get that it adds a bit of realism or whatever, but that is such a garbage mechanic. It's just so stupid. Either remove it or make it so that any staff member that walks by, not even just a mechanic, okay, cleaner, a vendor on his way to like to where his work or whatever, anybody, even the vet, should just be able to automatically fix stuff that they walk by. It makes sense, right? It's so stupid. And then every once in a while you'll get that, oh, cool, I love the details in this game. Somebody kicked over a bin. But then it'll be fixed straight away, right? And then you get away from all of this crap here where it's like, God, there's a lot of broken stuff in your zoo. This thing as well, this zoo feels pretty small, should not be here, okay? Much like when you're describing somebody's penis, you never describe it as small. Nobody wants to be the guy with the small penis, right? Just like nobody wants to be the guy with the small zoo. Why even tell anybody this, right? Nobody needs to know that their zoo is too small, and it shouldn't have a negative impact on happiness either, okay? These people got out of bed, got into a car, and turned up to a zoo knowing full well what they were getting into, okay? It is a small zoo. Fucking deal with it. You paid money to come into here. Get on with it, right? Yeah. That should just not be here at all. It just shouldn't exist. Hello. Do you like my chair? Do you know what? It's leather. It's hot. Like, it retains heat and it's making me sweaty. Yeah. You know what I'm like when I get sweaty. Yeah. My wife is like... No, it's actually super comfy though. Oh, thanks very much for the tea, yeah. Oh, we got a nice brew here. Mid-rant here, Chad, I got a nice brew. Oh, it's like 21, so it's about right. Well, I could do, yeah. Chat, I'm gonna turn my cam off and just get nude, okay? This chair is too hot. Yeah, that's the thing, actually. My sweaty butt cheeks are gonna get stuck to this chair and stuff. Oh, God. Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah. Or maybe get like some towels. Get some like some bath towels, and then they'll get all soaked in sweat and stuff. And then if I accidentally did like just a bit of diarrhea as well, like towel would be able to soak that up too. No, that's it. Yeah, I'm out of ideas as well. Yeah, there we go. Do a brew review. Brew review would be pretty good. Nah, I think it's fine, honestly. My body will adjust eventually. Did you see the thing upstairs? Good, eh? That's good. He looked at it and he said it's not. He said he doesn't think it's a problem. He said it's like the inside bit that needed to be redone. Yeah, it does look a bit. I think it just needs to be like tidied up a bit. But like but a different. It'd have to be a different color though, right? Do you notice the color matches the tiles and stuff? Yeah, it's nuts, eh? Oh, chat. Yeah, maybe we can get him back in and see if he can add an air conditioning unit into this chair. This hot chair, yeah. The carpet matches the drapes. Yeah. This is, chat, you know the guy who just said that it's his 18th birthday today? He's got all this to look forward to later in life. You get there, look. There's a poo coming out of Terry's butt right now. Yeah. Would you have to actually look away? Is it that bad? It's like that big. Oh my God. I think Terry hasn't pooped in a while, chat. It's a massive one coming out. Okay, let's watch. Do something, please. What do you want? I'm not done ranting yet, Chad. I'm gonna get right back to ranting in a second. Yeah, it's on camera right now, yeah. Can you see it? Yeah, I can actually. Yeah, surprisingly. That's a huge one. You alright, Terry? Can you really see it? Yeah. Chat, can you see that? Enhance. Okay, let's see if we can do an enhance here. Properties. Configure video. Camera control. Zoom. Okay, we gotta do a pan and a tilt as well. Alright, zoom. Oh yeah, we can see it really good now. Let's do another little pan here. Terry. Good grief. Yeah. Look at the size. That's a monster. He seems like really, really chuffed with himself too, though, doesn't he? Look at him. Good job, Terry. Okay, we gotta pan it back over because we gotta be able to see his plant. Terry slept next to his plant last night. Chad, he loved it. He was sleeping right next to his plant. He slept next to his plant all night. He thinks... What, is there more poop coming out?
No, he's leaving it.
Oh, okay. He ate a like a yellow top from a dandelion today, and it had like some like, you know, like, chat, you know how like the yellow tops turn into like those white things so you can blow them, like you make a wish and you blow and all the white stuff. So there's a couple of like those white bits forming, and he had them like all stuck around his mouth. It was really good. No, you don't know that. Okay, the seeds, yeah. Yeah. He's trying to do his Father Christmas impersonation. So what was I talking about? Yeah, litter. Sorry, I hadn't even gotten to litter yet. Okay, the security stuff, I think it'd be easy enough to fix. But they would just have to look into it and fix it. Not even fix it. I think it just needs to be redesigned, or it needs to be fleshed out a little bit more. I'm not too sure about the animal food costs. I think some of them are okay. I think the cost for food for tortoises should be like the benchmark for the rest of animals as well. Honestly, I think it's too much. Thanks very much for the brew. See you in a bit. I don't think it's fair to pay 10 grand a year to feed 2 bears, for instance. Like, I would expect those food bills to be like $1 grand at most. You know what I mean? They're way too high. For the amount of money that you're able to actually generate in this game, the scales are completely off. So, okay, fair enough. If the animal food bill was 10 grand, but your shop made fucking like 100 grand or whatever, it would balance it out. But they don't. Your shops make like 2 grand a year. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way that your shop income isn't even covering your animal food bill in any zoo, in any part of this world. It's just wouldn't exist. Habitat repair is fine. Power costs, again, the whole system I don't think is that great. The costs for power should come down if you use things. Okay, if you're using a transformer, yeah, okay. And if the radius was much bigger, of course, you have to pay for it. Solar panels shouldn't be things that you need to place on paths. You should be able to put them on buildings because it would actually make buildings look a lot better as well, and should just give you power. And if they're figuring out ways, or they're struggling to figure out ways to make them maintainable or whatever, then they need to add wires to the game as well that you can hook up along paths or underground or something like that to the transformer, and then it can feed into the grid or whatever that way. And then there might be like a very small cost associated with it. But the fact that you place a solar panel down and it has to be placed like next to a path so that a mechanic can get to it and stuff, I just think is not great. You know what I mean? I think having wires would be like, yeah, I get it's like more work to like put them in or whatever, but it would make more sense, right? So you could like feed into a grid, and then you could have a cool build, you could have a cool power building somewhere, and you could like design it yourself and then feed like all of these sources into it. If they were like on the roofs of buildings, like I would happily put solar panels like up here, like I've already got air conditioning units up here, and which I think look fine. I would put solar panels up here as well, like little like pyramid solar panel things, and then feed that into a grid. No problem. I'd be more than happy with that. As it stands now, the fact that these don't have a negative impact is a good thing, but I think that just overall they kind of suck. The litter thing is also stupid. Like, it's just another thing that should just be like, I like the animations for the guy, the sweeper guys coming by or whatever, but they should emit an aura of, okay, where he's visited like this place recently, so people don't litter there or something like that. There's got to be more to it. You know what I mean? The fact that they just walk by a garbage can and throw garbage on the ground it doesn't make any sense. And it feeds into a bigger problem in this game where the passing of time is so bizarre. you know, like days are passing here. It's the 26th of May. It's taken a whole day for these people to walk from this square to this square. You know what I mean? I think they need to change it so that years are actually days, and that stuff that's coming in is coming in on the hour or something. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. And you get an animal. It's yeah, it's realistic. Yeah, you get an animal, and you have it for like 10 minutes in game time, and it dies of old age because so many years have passed. By the time it takes somebody to walk from this sign to like the Gulpy place, a tortoise that lives for 189 years has died of old age. Like it. There's no path to my work zone from here. I'm snowed under with tasks. I don't need this job anyway. Goodbye. I guess I could come back. So this is another this is another bug that I hadn't experienced yet, but people are reporting from the patch that came out yesterday. No path to your work zone. There's some issue that's been introduced where your staff now can't figure out how to get around to the places that they need to go to, and then they just quit. And I also saw people complaining about staff wage bills being much higher than they used to be, and animal food being much higher than it used to be as well. So people who are running perfectly functional, successful franchises booted up the game yesterday and were just in crippling amounts of debt, much like Terryland. We suffered from all the same stuff, but it wasn't off the back of yesterday's patch. This is long-standing stuff, I think. Yeah, time is a construct. They just haven't built it well in this game. Yeah, I think I think they just need to revisit it and really think about how it fits in or whatever. It's just like it's a design thing. It's a balancing thing, and it's weird. It really is weird. I don't think animals I don't think that animals should age so quickly and die so quickly. I think babies, the way that like babies take a while to become adults is fine, because it's you know, it takes a little while, and it's nice because you can see the babies in the enclosures and stuff like that. They're more expensive than they're worth currently with the way that the animal food bills are working. And some of the issues with enclosures, even if you have a massive enclosure, there's like sizing issues and stuff like that, but that's all just sort of like annoying game mechanics or whatever. But I'm like, that's stuff that probably would be easy to fix or whatever. The fact that they don't age when they're sitting in the trade center is kind of weird, and the fact that you can't sell babies is kind of weird as well. You should just be able to sell the babies. So you should be able to breed good animals with good stats that are babies and sell them straight away. Because otherwise, you have to spend money waiting for them to become adults, which takes a long time. And then their food bill is very high. Or you're in this awful position where you're micromanaging these aspects, which I don't think you should ever need to do in this game or any other game for that matter. Where you have to, because you can't afford to have them all in an enclosure at the same time, or there's not enough space for all of them. Your tortoise will give birth to like 15 babies, and then your trade center is filled with these babies because you can't have them in the park, and you're waiting for room to free up in the enclosure. And meanwhile, these babies are clogging up all your room in the trade center, which is limited to 30 animals. So you're already at half your capacity. Animals that aren't aging and have to stay there until you can actually get them into the zoo. There's so many issues. It's crazy. Can you sell the babies in Spanish? Yeah. How do you say that actually? Translate from English to Spanish. Polish? No, Spanish. Can I please sell my baby? Puedo vender a mi bebé. Puedo vender a mi bebé. Puedo
¿Puedo vender a mi bebé?
¿Puedo vender a mi bebé?
¿Puedo vender a mi bebé? ¿Puedo vender a mi bebé?
¿Puedo vender a mi bebé?
¿Puedo vender a mi bebé?
¿Puedo
vender a mi bebé?
mi bebé?
¿Puedo vender a mi bebé?
Nice. Welsh. Okay, let's see what it is in Welsh, and then we'll play it to see how close I was. Welsh. Can I please sell my baby is alaf wrthru fi mabi os Welsh inda.
Allaf werthu fy magu os gwelwch yn dda.
There's no way, right? There's no way that anybody speaks that language and can understand each other. That just sounds like. That just actually sounds like gibberish.
Allaf werthu fy magu os gwelwch yn dda.
There's no way. I don't believe it for 1 second. Zulu. What was the other one? Croatian. Croatian. Let's see if I can get Croatian. Hungarian I find kind of hard as well. I have Hungarian heritage as well. Croatian. Moguli prodati svoje digete.
Moguli prodati svoje dijete.
Not what I expected. Czech is tough as balls. Okay, let's try Czech. Czech is mohu prosím prodat své dítě.
Mohu prosím prodat své dítě.
Not too bad. Not too bad. I was pretty close. Man, I was pretty close. Lithuanian is insane. Okay, let's try Lithuanian. Argaliu parduoti savo kudikje. Oh, Lithuanian doesn't even have a sound for it. You can't even play it. They haven't done it yet, I guess. Dutch. Mag ik mijn baby alsjeblieft verkopen?
Mag ik mijn baby alsjeblieft verkopen?
Verkopen. Nice. Okay, and we'll do it in German and then we can just like wrap it up. German. Kann ich bitte mein Baby verkaufen?
Kann ich bitte mein Baby verkaufen?
Baby verkaufen. Verkaufen. Swedish. Okay, we'll do Swedish as well. Let's see if my Swedish holds up. Swedish. 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 Kan jag snälla sälja min baby?
Kan jag snälla sälja min baby?
Sälja. Snälla sälja min baby.
Kan jag snälla sälja min baby? Kan jag snälla sälja min baby?
Kan jag snälla sälja min baby? Yeah? Perkele. Oh yeah, we gotta do Finnish as well, right? Satana. Okay, we'll do Finnish and then we can move on. I think my rant is done as well. I think I've done ranting. This game, I do love it. I do love it, and I rant about it because I want it to be better, and I want to love it more. I think it has so much promise, and it is just mired down with dumb stuff that if I think they fixed it, boom, I think we would be laughing. Voinko mida vovani.
Voinko myydä vauvaani?
Voinko mida vovani.
Voinko myydä vauvaani?
Vauvani. Nice. You rant because you love. Yeah, me too, actually. I rant because I love too. Do you agree with the things that I've said about this game? My observations? Do you agree? Or do you think that I'm an insane old man yelling at clouds? You agree 100%, mostly. Some of them, yes. Okay, which ones would you disagree with? The last one. I think you should post the rant as a YouTube video. Both. You never played it and you agree totally. Half and half. I think, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm open to like compromises and stuff, but I think that's like, I think those are the main issues. I think if those things were fixed or made better, even some of them, then this game would actually be playable. All the stuff you wanted is a setting and sandbox. Yeah, I know, but the sandbox, you can't breed animals to sell them on the marketplace. You can't participate in the franchise community challenges in Sandbox. Like, yeah, I can go in Sandbox and build buildings and stuff like that, but then you don't actually have the management side of the game, which right now isn't very fun, but could be fun if it was fixed and made better. You know what I mean? Everybody keeps saying Sandbox, but Sandbox is boring because there's no consequences. That's one aspect of it, yeah. Never needing to worry about gaining or losing money, not being able to do or having the animals live forever and stuff. If you want to like set up like scenes and take cool screenshots and stuff, yeah, Sandbox, I get it. I get it. But I don't think a fix for all the problems this game has is just play Sandbox. That's not a fix. That's not even a workaround. That is like 10% of the game. So you're actually saying, just play 10% of the game. Yeah, Sandbox is fun to fart around in. Yeah, I agree. Sandbox is fun to fart around in. I think as far as balancing goes, there's probably a very, very specific way to play for it to work, but that in itself is bad design. Absolutely, yeah. If they're expecting to play a game like this in a very specific way, then yeah, that is bad design for sure. Like a game like this, like Planet Coaster was, needs to be. It's cool to have some challenge, but I'd say some like very, very little challenge. I don't think this is a game that people play because they want to be challenged. I think this is a game for people who like to tinker, right? This is a game where people like to set up facilities in an efficient way and then make things look nice and then watch the interactions with the people and the animals and stuff like that. This is a game that you just like to you want to fire it up and you want to just chill and get lost in it for a couple of hours, and you don't want to have to think too hard about it, right? And currently the way that the game is, you have to think hard about it, and it's not a good way to play the game, right? Yeah, I'm not sure about the taxes thing. The taxes thing I don't really have a major gripe with. The way that the taxes work from what I can see. So you got habitat area tax, exhibit area tax, facility area tax, ride area tax, and path area tax. Maybe I'm not remembering this right, but I don't remember ever seeing values next to path, ride, facility, and exhibit. It seems to be habitat only almost. I hate tax. I do pay income tax. As much as I hate tax, I do actually pay tax, contrary to popular belief. Don't tread on you. Okay, I'll try not to. Yeah, we made it out of 700K in debt, but we had to basically delete everything and sell all of the animals, and now we're making money. Just have your zoo commit a tax fraud. Spend a whole day working to regulate the work zones, and it ended even worse than when I started. Yes, that's the thing. That is going to happen as well. And when it doesn't make sense, refunds, animal food costs, it's impossible to actually play the game. So the refunds one, again, I didn't even talk about this in the rant. The refunds thing, to me, is crazy. I don't know why it exists. I have no idea why it exists. It's not explained anywhere. It just seems to be some magical formula of unhappiness, which then leads to refunds. In this park, we're not having any. In Berryland, we're starting to receive refunds now, right? And from what I can tell, because it's not actually stated anywhere in the game, from what I can tell, it's due to unhappiness. So if we look at the unhappiness in the zoo, 23% of people are unhappy, which kind of coincides with our happiness rating, right? No, it doesn't actually. It's like half of this percentage, but 23% of people are upset because the zoo is pretty small. Whether that actually feeds into refunds or not, I don't know. I mean, from what I can see here now, it doesn't. But you'll get a couple of other things in here as well. Like when it rains, people will be upset because they forgot to bring an umbrella. Again, I don't know if that actually impacts or anything. If it doesn't impact, I don't know what the point of it being in here is. Much like this one. If this is having no impact, it doesn't need to be there. And then you'll have other things like there's a lot of broken shit in this park. And then if you click it, you can see where the broken shit is. It's annoying. You have to click on the broken shit and then replace it. Again, something I ranted about before, which I think just is dumb. That seems to factor into the refunds thing if it's left for too long. And the litter one boggles my mind as well. There's a lot. This litter is disgusting. You'll get people who encounter litter, and it'll start piling up in here. The percentage will start going up. The more people that come across this litter, which might just stay there forever because your caretakers are so useless or whatever. You can't click on it to see where the litter is, so it never shows you. So you have to actually close this, and then you have to like look down and go through your entire park. You might have a fucking huge zoo, and you're just gonna have to spend minutes looking for this litter to find out where it is in the first place. And then when you finally find it, you have to click on one of your caretakers. The camera will zoom over to them, and then you can finally move them. So then you have to go back. You have to pan back over and find where the litter is to drop them, and then they'll clean it up. Just that one time until you set up a work zone for them that they'll just ignore or get stuck in paths. Another thing that we had yesterday was we had a staff path where caretakers were just getting stuck like on where the staff path meets the normal path, and they were just moonwalking in one spot forever, and we had to physically move them to get them to actually go and do their jobs. Yeah, that was an annoying one as well. So all of this stuff that feeds into supposedly this refund mechanic, we've seen it creep up to massive amounts. I mean, I think we were getting refunds posted at 30, 40
Can't wait
grand.
for the 2-hour-old man rants at Zoomadcat video. JK, we can tell how passionate you are.
Jurlas, thanks so much for the donation. I don't know if you remember at the height of Terryland being a huge international success, and we were just getting ready to start decorating some of the enclosures. We were going to work on the riverboat ride, make the hippo enclosure better and stuff like that. And then we started noticing we were losing money. So we go into this tab, and the amount of refunds were completely just like canceling out the admission prices, like entirely. Like it's like 100% of people or more were refunding. So all of a sudden in our income, we had ticket sales amounting to like 30 grand in income. But then you go into outgoing expenses, and refunds were totaling 30 grand of outgoing. It's crazy. Did I tell Bo all this? Yeah, yeah, most of it actually. I think I did tell most of it. I mean, I wasn't like, I sent them an email and I said a couple of things, but I mean, I wasn't saying like this is stupid, remove it or whatever. Like I was just saying that like some things appear to be broken. I don't know. I don't think Bo's in chat. No, she might be. I don't know. Have there been any info on Darkest Dungeon 2? I have no idea. I didn't say fuck this game. No, I didn't say fuck this game. I still don't say fuck this game. I truly believe that I would play this game probably a lot more and enjoy it a lot more if some of this stuff was fixed. Because it feels broken. If it's not broken and it's intended, then I'm done. Because I just can't believe that would get past any sort of like design stage and people would sit in a room and be like, yes, that doesn't make any sense to me. It has the potential to be great. I absolutely agree. Yeah. Minor flaws in all the wrong places. Yeah, maybe. I think there's a whole bunch of little things that they could fix to streamline it a lot better and just make it a lot better. And but still, like again, they have to balance it out. If they want if they want challenge to be in the game, cool. Okay, nobody minds a little bit of challenge and stuff. Like I don't think anybody's really gonna be like, "Fuck, this fucking game is too easy." That the amount that you can do in this game and tinker around with is great. I don't think anybody is really going to be like, oh shit, oh, I'm so bored, I've made so much money in this game. Like, I think if that's why you're playing the game, it's gone way over your head, right? Picking up trash seems lame. Being able to find problems right away seems like something they could easily implement. Well, I don't know. It feels like yeah, anything that they put in, you'd have to base it on what exists already, right? So like if you go in here and you go to staff and you go to work zones, so let's say we edit this work zone. So the way that work zones work is based on buildings, right? So all of these buildings make up this work zone, right? So we have a staff building here for people to rest in, and we have 5 vendors here as well, okay? So you would expect in this work zone these 5 vendors to walk in between, and we've seen this happen before as well, right? We've done this, we set this up with cleaners, and we could see that they would just walk from building to building. Like they would just figure out their path, and they would say, okay, I work at this building, it's break time. Okay, yes, there's a building in my work zone for a break. I will walk to it, take a break, and then I will walk back when I'm done my break and continue working in this place, right? That's fine. How does that, but that doesn't apply in a logical way to caretakers who are meant to be sweeping paths, okay? And it doesn't apply to security guards either, because why would you send caretakers and security guards between buildings? There needs to be like a path painting tool, right? It has to be. You have to be able to say, okay, caretaker 1, I want you to just clear this area here. That should be manageable for you. We should never see litter in this area, right? Caretakers are pretty cheap. I wouldn't mind having 30 caretakers if I could specify exactly where they worked, like in the Roller Coaster Tycoon games, right? Same with security guards. If I could specify the path that a security guard would work, then I would expect to never see any vandalism in that area, right? Same with the caretakers. I'm already paying for them, so that's the challenge side of it done, right? They cost me fully trained $800 a year or whatever. Okay, I'll find a way to cover that, but in return, they do their job well instead of a security guard. A security guard walking down here, all the way down here into the middle of nowhere to take a break. With the way that time passes in this game, it's going to take him like 5 years to get there, have his break, and then come back to active duty, where he just does whatever the fuck he wants, and there's vandalism everywhere. It doesn't make sense. And the fact that it's the fact that it's broken feeds into other broken mechanics, which is stupid. You know what I mean? People become unhappy because of it, and then start refunding, and then again you're caught in this vicious cycle of losing money because of broken or poorly thought out game mechanics. No, I'm wrong, Sips. It's up to the CEO of the zoo to pick up the trash and repair the bins. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Okay, we get it. The game is broken. I think we've played this game enough on stream and personally to have a bit of a rant about it. No, like I know I'm not saying anything new here, but I've played this game for almost 200 hours. I think I'm entitled to a little bit of a rant. No opinions allowed. I guess not. Jeez. Yeah. Top flight security guards of the world. That's who we need here. Yeah. Just make a review and send it to them. I'm a sweary old bearded dad sitting in a gamer chair complaining about a game that they spent years working on. I don't think they give a shit about what I have to say. And in fact, I think if they heard what I was saying, they would probably be a little bit offended. I mean, you have to remember as well, I used to be a developer, not a games developer, but I used to do development at a bank. And trust me, my programs were perfect, okay, to me. So anytime somebody complained that something was broken, initially I was like, it's your fault then. It has to be. That's how developers are. That's how a developer thinks, right? So I've been there. I've been that person. Oh, that it didn't print the report. Well, you didn't do it right then. No, it hasn't printed the report. Yeah, you didn't do it right. No, the report hasn't printed. Ah, shit, yeah, I forgot to turn that on. Like, it takes a lot of convincing to get through to a developer. Like, they are, by nature, defensive. And they build themselves up to just be always right, Overall, how happy am I with my life? I'd say, probably 100%. Like, I'm a fairly content person. I mean, I don't have, any outstanding issues. I'd say I'm generally pretty happy. You're a game producer, and I'm not wrong. There you go. See, I'm right. Everyone in chat is a developer. Have I seen Disco Elysium yet? I've heard of it. I haven't actually seen any of it. I'm a game dev, you're correct. Nice. What is the professional gaming chair? I bought this yesterday. On a whim. I was looking to buy a copy of Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch for my son because it's his birthday on Monday, and we got him a Switch Lite, so the one where the controllers don't come out, like the new one. We got him one of those a while back, and his friends at school have been playing Smash Bros. And he's like, "Oh, I would love to play it." So we're like, "Okay, cool, we'll get it for him for his birthday." So I went into the store to get it, and then I noticed that gamer chair, and I was like, I'm gonna test it out. I was with my wife at the time. She's like, "Yeah, go test it out." I was like, "Yeah, I will." So I sat down, and the skies open, clouds parted, a ray of sunbeam just shone down on me from heaven. My tush just felt like 120%. It's never felt better. It was such a luxurious sit. And I didn't even have to say a word. I've been married to my wife for 16 years, almost 17 years. And I feel like we're able to communicate without words at this point. And she saw that look on my face. I was in pure paradise, or at least my ass cheeks were in pure paradise. And she was like, "We're getting this chair, aren't we?" I was like, "You bet your ass we are." And so I bought the chair. It came in a box, though, and I had to put it together today. Luckily, it came with an Allen key, and it came with some cotton gloves as well. There were cotton gloves in a Ziploc bag and an Allen key. It looks like something you would find in a serial killer's backpack, but this was boxed into a non-assembled chair. So I put the cotton gloves on. Immediately shoved my fist into my ass to see what it would feel like. It felt pretty good. And then I assembled the chair using the Allen key and the cotton gloves. So that was pretty good. Show us the gloves. I threw them away. They were all sweaty when I was done. I had some hand sweats. You think that this chair will help me get some more sponsors? And I hope so, actually. Really good. That would be really good.
Voinko myydä vauvaani?
Voinko myydä vauvaani?
Voinko myydä vauvaani?
Myydä. It's spelled M-Y-Y-D and then A with 2 dots on top of it, but it's pronounced myydä.
Voinko myydä vauvaani?
Myydä. So 2 Y's together in Finnish is a U sound? U? I threw away the gamer gloves. Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah, I don't like cotton gloves. They're really creepy, actually. That double A at the end. Muda muda. It's 2 Y sounds. You. Yeah, I guess it is actually when you think about it. So fucking there you go. There's a big old rant about Planet Zoo. We've during the time of that rant, we've recovered the debt. We were 750k in debt, and now we're back up to 100k. I think if you want to play this game and enjoy franchise mode or whatever, Having said this, though, which I haven't actually said yet, I'm making $7,000 in profit based off these tortoises. But if I was to introduce like bears as another enclosure, they would eat up that profit, literally, with the animal food bills for 2 bears would be more than the profit that we're making. So if I added another enclosure right now with bears in it, we would be out of pocket. We would start losing money straight away, which is, again, it doesn't make any sense. I just think it's just stupid. Are bears not profitable? From what I've seen, I would say no. I don't think that they are. They take the amount that you have to. They bring in a decent amount of donations. I think pandas are the best bear because they're like high impact. So they bring in like a ton of donations, and there's a lot of people that want to see pandas. Grizzly bears don't seem to have that impact. And whilst they do make donation money, if you have 2 grizzly bears in an enclosure and they have 2 or 3 babies, the time it takes the 3 babies to become adults and the food bills that you pay to get to a point where you can sell them, and then you do sell them, even with donations made in that time and then the money that you get from a quick sale of those bears, I still don't think it's worth it. I don't actually think it's worth it. Berryland, unfortunately, is losing money and has started this like cycle of refunds as well because guest unhappiness is too low. Fuck, I didn't even rant about the education thing either. I didn't even have a single rant about the education thing. Berryland is looking pretty good. We spent quite a bit of time in here, and it's a fairly busy place too, which again is, you know, it should be making money, but it is not making money. Oh, hang on a second. 2 years ago we made 13 grand. Oh yeah, of course. So we had one big year when the pandas were first introduced. So I think donations went crazy, but then the consistency dropped off immediately, and then we were 10 grand down from the previous year, and we seem profitable this year so far. Animal food bill is up to $5,619. Bearing in mind that in this zoo right now we have snakes that don't count, and anything that's in the trade center doesn't count either because they don't get fed. So in terms of actual stuff out in the zoo being fed, we have 2 grizzly bears, we have 2 black bears, and we have 2 panda bears. So a total of 6 bears who are actively being fed. Last year that cost us almost 6 grand. So a grand per bear, it seems like, a year. And sometimes that doubles up as well. And I can't find out why that seems to happen. Sometimes they just eat more food. So there you go. Another one for the list. Make them pay to go to the bathroom. We do make them pay to go to the bathroom. So we started setting up some more food areas and stuff down here, thinking that more people would come down to look at the bears here. But it looks like most people aren't even really bothering with the black bears now. A lot of people just want to come down and see the pandas. There's still quite a few people looking at the grizzly bears. But I'm not sure how many. You can't break down donations in income to see what donation bins have done the best. But because there's no way to actually associate a donation bin with a habitat, that means that information just doesn't exist, right? If you could associate donation bins directly with a habitat and then get like a drill down to see which habitats are actually making you money and which ones aren't, that would be useful as well. But when you want to do something like we tried here, I wanted to make a zoo that just had bears in it because I thought, cool. I like the idea of franchise mode. I like that we can have a bunch of different zoos within like this company structure or whatever, and it's kind of a cool idea. And I wanted to have a bunch of zoos set up so that I could just flip between them each week based on the community challenge, right? So this week's challenge is panda bears. So I thought, okay, cool. Let's set up a bear zoo. And then we can spend a lot of time in the zoo. making it look nice and stuff. The pandas can breed. Everybody be happy. We'll get the community challenge done, and then say next week was tortoises or whatever. Cool. Go back to Terryland for the week. Do some work there. Breed a lot of tortoises. Get the community challenge done. Cool, and so on and so forth. There's a million things we could do. Like we could do like an African safari zoo that's just an African safari. We could do like a riverboat one that's just like the riverboat with like river animals and stuff. And then it's just like we won't get like these. You get a lot of space, but as we saw in Planet Coaster, trying to fit too much in just will have your computer spitting fire at the back of it. So I feel like having focused smaller zoos better for like performance, but then you could theme them up and stuff. Like we gone for like a sort of like wood cabin theme in this, you know, like looks a bit like Grizzly Hills or something. Everything is just like made of wood, you know, these like log cabins with facilities in them and stuff. And I think the setup is like pretty good, but it's just it's impossible to fucking make money in franchise mode because of all these issues. So we're currently in February and we're already hugely in debt because the animal food bill came in straight away. So we're going to spend the whole year trying to recover this, and it's likely that we're just going to be in debt. Having not changed anything other than 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now, adding a new enclosure for pandas, which saw like a surge in profits, and then it just sort of leveling out, and then actually you come up worse in the end 3 or 4 years later. It doesn't make any sense. Low graphics and do a mega zoo. Nah. We tried it with Planet Coaster, and it's a total nightmare. We had to, in the end, we had to limit guests because that's what was slowing things down. We had like 6,000 guests in the park. But the shitty thing about that was that parts of the zoo were just like a ghost land. You know, like there was just, sorry, not the zoo, the theme park. Parts of the theme park were just never visited because there was only, we limited it to like 2,000 people, but because the theme park was so big, there were just parts of it that were just completely empty. Like no queues for the rides, nothing. Like it was, how did we fix refunds? In Terryland, we fixed refunds by removing everything, basically. We got to a point where every single person had left the park. And then the new people that started coming into the park came in based on wanting to see just tortoises, which is all that's left in there. So I ended up having to remove a whole bunch of stuff from the park, and it doesn't look anything like it used to with all the stuff that I've had to remove. So it's not really a good solution for solving the refunds issue, you know? Advertise to get more people in. My zoo is trucking on. I have heaps of habitats and animals. Only problem is the lag. Yeah, that's fine. I guess like, did you just kept expanding and stuff? I feel like if you're making money now, let the game run for a couple of years and don't add anything to it, and then get back to me because you'll just start losing money. Most of the cases of people getting refunds and losing money is people who have stopped, it seems, to spend time working on designing like areas or whatever, and they don't aggressively expand anymore or whatever, and then everything just stagnates and then drops off, and then you lose all your work. Has Terry